Hello everyone, welcome to my September 2017 haul video. Once again, I am back with another monthly haul video. Sorry this one took so long to be put up. I was waiting for a couple of things to come in the mail, and luckily they just happened to arrive as I was about to shoot this video. So without further ado, I want to start out by showing you the various used books that I picked up last month. First up is Lone Survivor, written by Marcus Luttrell. This was turned into a film directed by Peter Berg, starring Mark Wahlberg, Ben Foster, Emile Hirsch, and Taylor Kitsch. Next up is Cloud Atlas, which was turned into a film by the Wachowskis, starring Tom Hanks. Next is Mudbound, which actually, as of this recording, hasn't gotten a wide release yet. I believe Netflix owns the rights, and it will be coming out at some point this year. Next is Cormac McCarthy's The Road, which I'm pretty sure many people have read already and seen the film. I unfortunately haven't read or seen the film yet, so I'm definitely looking forward to jumping on the train that seemingly everyone else has gotten on. And last but not least is Youth in Revolt, which was turned into a film several years ago starring Michael Cera. Not a lot of people are aware of that film, and I don't really believe a lot of people actually like that film. But I saw it a few years ago, and I kind of rather liked it for its oddball quirkiness. And next are two comic book related items that I picked up last month. Both of these were things that I was waiting to come into the mail. I ordered these from InStockTrades.com. The prices there are slightly better than the ones on Amazon, and if you spend a certain amount, you do get free shipping. I believe it's $50. So I was able to snag both of these for a relatively good price combined, so I was very happy to see that. First up here is Preacher Book 3. For those of you familiar with these video series I've been doing, I picked up Preacher Book 2 many months ago. I've since read that. That's why I needed Book 3. Preacher is a great series written by Garth Ennis, and it is part of Vertigo, which was a DC imprint. And if you like the series that is currently airing on AMC, definitely check out the source material because it is pretty different. Next up is a rather large item that I've been really hoping would have come back in print so I could finally get my hands on, and that is the new Teen Titans Omnibus number 1. The original printing of this has been long out of print and goes for hundreds of dollars on eBay, but DC, in their infinite wisdom, decided to republish it in a new edition, which is actually a different cover. I believe the original cover was white, and also the binding is a lot better on this one than that old volume. It contains the same amount of issues and the same storylines and everything like that, except it is a new printing, and I highly recommend people getting this or even just getting the trade paperbacks that they are releasing right now, because this is a storied run. It's an iconic run for these characters in particular. Marv Wolfman and George Perez are just incredible people and incredible artists and talents, so I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out. Some of you may remember that I bought the third volume of this series from the original printing run, and I'm pretty sure they're going to end up reprinting the second volume and the third volume, so I'll probably end up rebuying the third volume eventually anyway. That's just the curse of collecting comic books. There are so many different editions they keep putting out that you just gotta get your hands on everything. And lastly, the Blu-rays and the lone DVD that I picked up last month. First up is the DVD, and that is Forbidden Hollywood Collection Volume 3. I have been looking to complete this collection for a very long time. For those of you not familiar with these series put out by Warner Brothers and also Turner Classic Movies, at least for the first 3 volumes, these are collections of films that are technically pre-code films. They are before the Hays Code, which was instituted in the early 1930s, and these films are a little bit more risque than films you would see during the golden age of Hollywood, where the Hays Code was in place. I could do a whole video discussing these, but briefly I just want to say the first 3 volumes were put out in wide release in the sense that you could find them in stores, you can find them online, but volumes 4 through 10 you can only get through Warner Archive. My guess is because these first 3 were probably not hot sellers, at least not mainstream collectors, but a lot of old school Hollywood film fans like myself want to get their hands on these. And if you go on Amazon right now, you can find all 10 of them. They are rather expensive because they are essentially made on demand, if you will. But the first three I wanted to get the wide release. They've since been reissued with the Warner Archive editions, which just come in regular DVD packaging, but I wanted the much thicker digipack packaging. And going into the Blu-rays, this first one here is actually something I ordered late in September and had to wait and wait. I didn't think this would actually come in by the time I did this video, but fortunately it did, and that is the Australian Blu-ray edition of Raw. This is a foreign film. It is a French film. It is actually one of my favorite films of 2017. It is now available to watch on Netflix, but unfortunately here in the United States, they only have released it on DVD, and I'm not quite sure if they will ever properly release it on Blu-ray. This happens with a lot of foreign films that are kind of more indie gems or just have a small cult following or something like that, where it's not worth it for them to make a Blu-ray release because they probably won't sell enough of them in order to make a profit. So I had to go and get this from a foreign market somewhere, and I chose the Australian release because you can watch the film in any US Blu-ray player. It is region A, so therefore it can be watched here. Unfortunately, a lot of these extras can only be watched via a region-free Blu-ray player because for some reason they are in 25 frames per second, which is different than the 24 frames per second that all of our Blu-ray players use here in the United States. It's very technical, it's very complicated to explain. All I'll say is that this Blu-ray looks fantastic. I will put the link for it down below from the website where I got it from if you are interested. But like I said, it's going to be quite difficult to watch the extras on here, which are unfortunate because there are quite a few interesting extras on here. And that's the back. But now into the regular US edition Blu-rays. First up here is an indie film gem that I actually did a review for already, and that is The Big Sick. This is an incredibly lovely romantic dramedy, if you will, and I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorites of the year, and I highly recommend people checking this out any way you can, whether it's Blu-ray, the DVD, or if you can find it streaming somewhere. And next is the big mainstream release I got in the month of September, and that is Wonder Woman. For those of you who know me, and for those of you who can tell by my shirt, I'm a huge DC Comics fan, so I was there day one to see this in theaters. I did a review of this on my channel, and I had to get the Blu-ray the day it came out. And there were several exclusives. I believe Best Buy got an exclusive 4K Steelbook, but Target got this kind of really cool digibook with a lenticular cover that I just find to be awesome. And you can tell there it's a digibook, and it's a bit thicker than you see most Blu-ray cases are. They also did releases like this specifically at Target for the other films in the DCEU or the DC Cinematic Universe, whatever they are calling it now, of Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, and Batman v Superman. I have the one for Man of Steel, but I gotta get the ones for Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman because I am such a completist that it bothers me if I don't have them all. Don't ask me. It's a collector's thing. And next up here is a Blu-ray that was exclusive to Best Buy, but is no longer. I believe by this point you can buy it anywhere. And that is For Love of the Game, film directed by Sam Raimi, starring Kevin Costner as a pitcher who is kind of on his way out in his career. It's not the best film, but if you are a Sam Raimi completist or just a director's completist in general, you're going to want to pick this one up. It's cheap enough, and I think it's worth having in one's collection. Next one was also a Best Buy exclusive, but has since gone wide, and that is the comedy Bowfinger. You know, this is not a film that gets a lot of love. It's not a film that is remembered as one of the best in Steve Martin or Eddie Murphy's career, but it's a film that I actually really love, and incredible to say that since if you've seen the collection I have behind me, or if you've just been following these videos all along, I buy a lot of high art films, and this is not quite high art, but what is brilliant about this film is that it is a satire about making movies, about fulfilling one's dream of trying to make it in the film world, just trying to get a movie made. And there's something in that that speaks to my heart, because that is really what I want to do. If you haven't seen it, go into it thinking it's a spoof satire, and it'll definitely make you laugh, hopefully. And last but certainly not least is Nocturnal Animals, directed by Tom Ford and starring Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. This was one of my favorite films of last year. It is a dark and cerebral film, and it is definitely not for everyone. But if you like dark and disturbing films, this is one I highly recommend. So that has been my September 2017 haul video. If you want to see anything in any more depth, please let me know. I will do a review of that specific item. And also, if you like this video, please check out the other videos on my channel.